Hey everybody, welcome to Beacon 147, episode number 2. My name is Bobby, aka Gradius, founder of the Chosen Gaming Community, and tonight I am joined by Thomas, aka Noble Apocalypse.
Hello everybody.
So with this being our second episode, and it's been about 10 days since our last episode, lots of new cool juicy information has come out.
Yeah, normally we wouldn't take 10 days, but I had every disease imaginable. You name it, I had it. I'm on the tail end of it, getting a little bit better, but we'll try to get them out a little bit sooner than we have. I just strep throat, gonorrhea.
Yeah, you sound so much better now, man. You sounded horrible.
I was like, hello. It was terrible.
That's good stuff. So tonight we've got a few different topics we want to talk about. First being the release of the Aurora and its brochure. It's a beautiful, customizable ship. We want to tell you guys about pledging. We want to tell you guys about the Vanduul and their new warship, and we're going to go over lifetime insurance for you as well.
Yeah.
So, want to dive right on in, I guess.
Yeah, we kind of briefly mentioned it, and I think it's bearing a mention again. We probably should have gone a little bit more into it in our first episode, but about pledging and how it works and some of the benefits of pledging and even subscribing. So I'm going to talk about the different pledge packages. The one that you really need to pay attention to if you're looking to get into the game is going to be the, probably the Bounty Hunter. That's the first one that I'm seeing with a ship, the Mercenary. It includes the RSI Aurora ship, and it gives you access to the Alpha and Beta. And I don't know about you, but waiting until the end of 2014 to get my hands in this game is just too long. So if you're going to pledge, you want to look for one that has Alpha and Beta access. And the first one is the Mercenary package, and that's at $40. I
think that's the one that I started off with too, and I think a couple other folks who are going to be playing with us when the game goes live, I think that's kind of where they've started as well.
Right. Now, that doesn't mean you have to pay the $40 to get into the door. You can just pay $30, and that gives you access to the game. 1,000 credits, just the basic RSI Aurora spaceship to start out with. The only downside is you're not getting Alpha and Beta access. So I say for $10, it's worth it. I mean, if you're at all interested in this game, I'd pay the $10 more to hop in and start with the Alpha and Beta. Now, going from the $30, the basic package, $40 getting you the Alpha and Beta access, you can hop up $25 more to the digital Bounty Hunter. That's going to give you, instead of the Aurora, that's going to give you the 300i, which is very sexy. It's kind of the clean, sleek Mercedes-Benz BMW of space type ship. It's beautiful. Going from there, you can go up to 125. Which gives you access to the Hornet, which is a high-end ship that's focused on dogfighting and, kind of the in-your-face type combat.
Now, the Hornet was actually one of the ships from the original Wing Commander series. I believe it's the ship that you started off with at the beginning of the very first Wing Commander game. It was the bread and butter ship of the Terran Confederation fleet. Yep.
And now at that $125 mark, you have access to the Hornet, but you also, if you want to go with the Freelancer instead of the Colonel package, you could get a Freelancer ship, which is going to be focused more on trading and exploration. Going up from there, this is when you start to open up the checkbook. You can get the Colonel package, which also has the Hornet in it, but you get a little bit more as far as the perks go. It starts to get into the physical tangibles. You get a CD soundtrack. You'll get a hardbound Squadron 42 manual. Going from there, you've got the Freelancer, which is also 140. The difference being, again, the ship with the same perks. You get the Hornet with the Colonel. You get the Freelancer with the Freelancer. There's the Rear Admiral package. This is when the really nice ships start to come into game. With the Rear Admiral package at $275, you get access to the Constellation, which is the ship I am most looking forward to. The first one, I think, in the pledge package is that you can have another player in the ship with you, and it also has a secret extra little surprise little dogfighter ship that it stows. Going to $550, You keep the Constellation ship, you get some more perks, and that's pretty much it from there. You can go up to 1150. It's all the same ships. It's just your physical perks that start to change, the tangibles. You get
now, if I remember correctly, there's one of those tiers allows you to go and actually, I think it's for subscriptions, isn't it? That lets you go and tour the studios and stuff, right?
And we'll get to that. Just a second. I mean, you can pledge as much as you want. They do have a completionist package for 15,000, which is sold out, but they do have what are called the big fish packages. So if you want to pledge more than 15,000, and since the 15,000 is sold out, I would assume you could do 15,001 and do the big fish package. Since it does say
I
more.
would assume that you really love this game too.
And going on to the subscriptions, since we mentioned those briefly, the game does not have a subscription. Let's be 100% clear on that. It is, once you buy the game, you've got the game. You're in. You're in Squadron 42. You're in Star Citizen. No additional money required. The subscriptions are just perks. They're add-ons. I really like this game. I want to give this continued benefit of my monetary donation, either $10 or $20 a month, or $120 or $240 respectively for an annual donation. But they do give you a couple more perks. These perks were explained in one of the comm links that was sent out, where they talked about the Caterpillar and the subscriptions. And basically, the $10 a month subscription or $120 annual gets you the Centurion, and that at that level, you get the ability to participate in live monthly team show and tells. They'll answer 20 questions from subscribers via voting system. You get the Jump Point, which is the digital magazine, each month. It's 4 to 6 pages, some pretty good stuff. You get access to the Vault, which is kind of where their artwork and things like that are. You also get special merchandise that you're able to purchase. You get to you get your name in game. They haven't told us yet how they're going to do that, but your name will be somewhere in the game. Going up from there is the Imperator, which is the $20 or $240 annual. You get everything listed above, but the really big perk, the most exciting one that I'm looking forward to, is you get to visit the Cloud Imperium studios either in Los Angeles or Austin. And I think we might be road tripping to Austin before too long to take a look at what's going on over there.
We definitely need to get something like that scheduled, because I really want to see the backbone of, how this game is being developed. I'd like to meet some of the folks there, and I don't know. It provides a unique opportunity to experience the whole thing on a different level, right? See the work that's going into it, seeing how things are being done, and road trip most definitely going to happen.
Yep. And another really cool feature is the 3 Wishes program that you get with the Imperator level. Chris Roberts will personally reply to 3 of your questions a year, and that's awesome. I mean, to have from the top dog your questions answered is pretty incredible. You're also going to get decals for the Centurion level and the Imperial level for your ship that you can run around with saying, ha ha ha, I subscribed, and you didn't. But that's pretty much it as far as the subscriptions go. Definitely the best place to check these out for your pledge packages and the subscriptions is right on the robertspaceindustriescom website, and it goes into a little bit of detail, and it talks a little bit about insurance, which we'll cover at the tail end of the show, so we'll just tease that a little bit. Now,
one of the biggest things is, the more people pledge, the more people that, throw a few bucks at the game here and there, the better the game's going to be. And if you think about it, I think what their Kickstarter limit or goal was 2 million, right?
Yeah. And
now they're sitting at 9.5 with a goal of 10 million towards the end of the month, and we're already 10 days into May now. So, the more things, or the more that's pledged to the game, the more, the more things can be added, the more, feature rich the game is going to be. And that's something that they've really, promised to the community is, hey, if we reach, this tier, we'll add XYZ extra things to the game. And it's getting huge. I mean, I can't wait. I mean, if this keeps going with the game not, technically being, I guess, released for another 1.5 years or so, the sky seems to be the limit right now.
Right. I mean, just going through some of the stretch goals, I mean, we went from, a few systems to explore to 100 at launch. I mean, that's just incredible. that we're going to have 100 star systems to explore at launch.
Really, really steps it up a notch for those people who are interested in doing the exploration aspect of the game, and those who are looking forward to, I don't know, just trading. I mean, it offers all kinds of new things to the game. Just more is better, I guess.
Absolutely. One of the things that I noticed, which I'm not really sure how I feel about on the stretch goals, but at 5 million, we got celebrity voice acting for Squadron 42. And
maybe we'll get Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard.
I hope that doesn't happen. But how do you feel about celebrity voice actors in games? I know this is a little off topic, but do you feel like they add anything, or do you think that they take away from it?
To me, sometimes you notice, oh man, I don't know the names off the top of my head, but at the beginning of Skyrim, right, where you get down and you're about to get your head chopped off, that's not really a spoiler, that's at the beginning of the game, but the general, his voice is whoever the actor is that played, Colonel Saul Tigh from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
So there are some voices out there that you'll instantly recognize, and when I heard that, I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they're celebrity in the fact, or I guess for me, it's mainstream celebrities, the more popular ones that have more recognizable voices, not necessarily like the celebrities and actors from like more B type of movies or whatever. But if it's someone with a recognizable voice, like if they get like James Earl Jones or I don't know, some really well-known voice, to me it adds a ton to the immersion.
Yeah, and see, that's the part that's where I have mixed feelings. I almost feel like it takes a bit away from it. And I love the Mass Effect franchise, but that is just a hodgepodge of celebrity voice acting. I mean, we've got Power Rangers doing it. We've got Trisha Halfer, Martin Sheen, more than I can name here. And I've played the franchise long enough to where it doesn't bother me, but there was that initial first like, oh, that's Edie, and she's from, and that's Trisha Halfer, and she was a hot robot chick in Battlestar. Now she's a disembodied voice in my ship, and later a bodied voice in my ship. So it's a little bit from the immersion, but I think it's cool. I've kind of grown to.
Is it because maybe you compare them to their previous thing or something, so it kind of takes it away, or?
I don't know. Like, Seth Green being Joker and things like that. It's initially it takes me out of the moment, particularly in a game like that where you're trying to get into the dialogue and learn the characters. And the first thing I want to be thinking is, okay, what's your story? I want to learn more about you. And the first thing that comes across my mind, oh, that's Scott from Austin Powers.
Okay, you got me there. You got me there.
Like, I'm trying to get the characters. So, but I mean, that game was, that series and franchise was long enough to where I stopped seeing them as who they were and what actors they portrayed, and saw them as the characters that they were in game. But I'm almost a little bit afraid with Squadron 42 that it might not be long enough for me to get into them as a character and learn them as who their quirks and what makes them tick as a character in Squadron 42, without going, oh well, that's so and so from The Big Bang Theory, or whatever. So
right, yeah.
So I have a little bit of mixed feelings on that, but I haven't been disappointed by celebrity voice acting in any game, but I really haven't noticed it in shorter games. So I guess it really just comes down to, is Squadron 42 going to be long enough to where I could stop seeing them as the characters those actors formerly portrayed and start to see them as the characters they are now.
You've given me an idea, and I thank you for this, because I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to email everybody that I can over at RSI and Cloud Imperium and suggest to them that every ship's computer sound like
if you say
Ego
How
from Defiance.
did I know you were going to go Ego from Defiance? How did I know?
It just makes sense. It's the most, I don't know, it's the most pleasant voice I've ever heard.
Yeah. All right, so now that that aside is over, because the thought of that's making me a little more ill than I already am, we got a wonderful 11 and a half brochure about the Aurora recently. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, so the Aurora is not necessarily the best ship in the world, but I tell you what, she's got so many different configurations that this baby is going to be a versatile, entry level ship. Okay, so the Aurora. This is I guess one of the easier ships to get into in the game.
Yeah, we get this
And
one pretty early as far as backing, right? As if I remember correctly, that's the
yeah, it's like the first one
it's the first
available
one.
for backing, right?
Yep.
So I'm assuming, no confirmation, I guess, but I'm assuming that maybe this is the ship that everybody kind of starts with. Don't know, but I'm going to make that assumption.
I think that's
But
a
there's
good
different,
assumption.
yeah, there's different versions of the ship that kind of, in my mind, kind of put you on different paths where you can kind of use this ship for just all-purpose general use. There's the Clipper version of it, which gives it a faster engine, and also it gives it a jump scanner. So it's, I guess, more for exploration. They've got the is it the Marquis that has a larger. I'm looking here at the thing here, the cargo capacity. No, it's not. It is also the Clipper. The Clipper, okay, so it's got a jump scanner for exploration, but it also has a cargo hold that's twice as big.
I think the
So-
Marquis, if I remember, is it has a little bit more carrying capacity, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's the mid range, if you will, of the ships.
Right.
Nothing super
Now
special.
there's the Legionnaire version that hasn't really been, they haven't really released an image of it yet, but it's supposed to be the heavy military patrol version of the ship. But then you've got the beautiful, luxurious LX edition.
Yeah, the AMG package ship here.
All the bells and whistles, and even comes with a cup holder.
That's an option. You do have to pay for that, so that's nice.
Yeah, we were actually talking about this with some of the guild and community members that we have in our gaming community, and one of them was asking if he should upgrade to this, like what the benefit of it was. And when we read the description of the LX to him, I think he was sold. I mean, I think when it says that the LX is built for the discerning pilot who never forgets where he or she came from, and that the LX edition features patent leather interiors to guarantee the comfort for those long stretches of the deep black. To me, it is the most amazing fluff sales pitch I've ever heard for. I mean, like an entry level version, or just I guess a nicer version of an entry level ship in a video game. That is,
Yeah.
This is like the most amazing marketing I've ever seen for a video game.
Well, beyond the fantastic marketing, which is always partial to me, scrolling down about 2/3 of the way down, it looks we get some rendered images of what it looks like. We see our, Joe Spaceman there sitting in his cockpit and laying down, pondering and looking through his viewport at the stars. If this is what the game looks like, if this is what my character looks like, if this is what my ship looks like,
You're going to be investing in some new clothes?
done. I mean, yeah, he's wearing his leisure outfit, his
PT clothing.
Yeah, I've had a rough day. I want to relax outfit, but just the detail, the lighting effects. I mean, this is gorgeous. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, it does look pretty nice. And the way that they've put the ship together and all the rendered images and stuff, it looks great.
Right.
It looks awesome.
All right, and then there's definitely some I don't know, some drawings of the ship, if you will, some watercolor. But if this is actually in game what this thing is going to look like, I can only imagine what the constellation is going to look like.
Yep, absolutely. That constellation. Well, I don't know. Well, looking at this ship and kind of how it looks and all the different features. I mean, heck, you add or you get the Clipper edition that has the expanded cargo hold. You actually see the expanded cargo hold on the actual ship. I mean, it's got a huge extra, big cargo container thing that mounts to the bottom of it. That so hey, that guy's carrying cargo.
Yeah.
Or extra cargo, and I think I'm gonna go get him.
Yeah. If you haven't gotten a chance to take a look at what this ship looks like, I definitely recommend pulling up the brochure. But excuse me, I've got the hiccups now apparently. But I guess the best way I can describe it is a stretched out Y-wing with almost an X-wing configuration. Like if you got a really long Y-wing and mated it with a X-wing ship from Star Wars, that's kind of what it looks like to me.
It does. It actually does. Now, I never really thought about that, but I guess if an X-wing and a Y-wing got together,
made a baby,
it would be an Aurora.
Yeah, and they kind of put it on some sort of a stretching table, some medieval torture device, and stretched it a little bit. The color palette is very reminiscent of Star Wars. You've got the white, grayish steel mixed with red or orange highlights on some of the ships, depending upon the models. So it's a very, very nice looking ship here. I mean, if that's your style, this isn't my style of ship aesthetically that I like. It's too industrial, too clunky looking for me, but I can appreciate the beauty of it.
I think that we're going to see, even several months after the game comes out, I think we're going to still see a lot of people flying around on these ships.
Oh, definitely. I think that this is going to be probably the primary for a long time.
Yeah, and I say that because, one, it's not very clear how expensive some ships are going to be yet. It's not really clear how much money we're going to be making for completing missions and, and doing industrial things like mining and building and things like that. And I guess if they do set up different packages for all the other ships, like the Constellation and some of the like the Hornet, that would kind of take what I'm about to say and kind of throw it out the window. But this beginning ship, how it has so many different packages and so many different things, and this being the only real one that they've said has this level of customization yet, I think this is going to be like the staple go-to,
right?
I guess entry-level ship. So
right. I mean, which one of these has you most excited? Is it the LX or, which one of these which configuration has you kind of thinking this is cool?
To tell you the truth, it's the Clipper. I mean, I like the extra cargo space, and I like the fact that it's got that Tarsus AT jump scanner built into it. So if I want to go out and do a little exploring, I can. Yep. It may have slightly heavier mass than like the essential version or the marquee version, but it's still got good engines. It's still got good all the same thrusting capacity and that all the other ones have. So I think that might be the one that I go with.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with you. I think that the Clipper to me is going to offer the most flexibility as far as the play style that I want to play. But that LX package, I'm a sucker for leather, so...
Yeah, there you go.
It is what it is,
Now, another ship that I guess recently made its debut is this Vanduul warship.
Yes.
I guess this is also like the, hey, here's the Vanduul as well as a ship that they built. I guess, I don't know, maybe it's an idea or a release of the potential enemies that we'll be facing in the game.
Right. There's two images on here on this particular topic that was mentioned in the comm link and the page. The first one's at the top of the page. I'm assuming that that's what the Vanduul warship looks like.
It looks like one of the fighters from the release video or the teaser video.
Yeah, it almost
the
kind
ones
of
that are hiding in the in the minefield that have the flaps.
I think that those are Hornets, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
the one that the player or the good guys,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
are flying are, but the ones that are going to attack the carrier
Yeah.
hiding in the asteroid field, I think that's what these are.
Yeah, the color palette's a little bit more coppery, grayish colored. Dual engines on the back, huge dual engines on the back. It looks like an amber glass cabin. A couple little very dangerous looking weapons on it. Some tribal insignia spread out. But the other thing, and more than all of this wall of text here that has me excited, is the size comparison of a rendered Vanduul and a just generic human model. It looks like that Vanduul's got a good foot and a half on that human, and it's almost feline looking in facial structures.
Really, kind of perhaps maybe like a Kilrathi or something like that. You know, the original enemies in the Wing Commander series.
Mayhaps. You know, elongated ears, deep set eyes, kind of a puggish, mouthish, flat nose thing.
They look dangerous.
Yeah, they definitely do not look like somebody you would want to meet in a dark alley. I think you would just hand them your wallet and your girlfriend's purse and say, "Okay, bye-bye, have fun." Looks like 3 fingers or maybe 4 per hand with nasty-looking talons, and definitely, they definitely do not look like nice guys.
Yeah, one of the interesting things I was reading on this article, and I'll make sure to put the links to all these articles and everything on the bottom of the information section of the YouTube video, but it says that these ships were used by the Vanduul, but they think that only a few hundred of them were ever made, but they were, I guess, towards the end of their use, they were kind of sold off to private enterprises and to kind of finance, I guess, important public works projects. And it was also thought that the Terran, I guess, naval intelligence continues to use them for testing and covert operations. So I'm thinking that this ship might be something that we're going to see either in Squadron 42 or maybe even in the game. I mean, maybe these are going to be some covert ops type of ships that can be player flown.
Yeah, it definitely opens up that door as a possibility, and I'm all about covert ops. So if I get to do some infiltration in one of these Vanduul ships here, this might be pretty exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah, just watching those things fly around in the I guess the original teaser video and fighting all the hornets that were flying around the Bengal carrier there. It's definitely going to be pretty amazing to see these things in action.
Right. Now, it also mentions the X-12, which I think is really the warship. And it's talking about the X-12, how it's able to carry a large crew. So I'm wondering if maybe it's 2 different ships. Maybe the image that we've got up top is maybe a smaller fighter, and the actual X-12 in which it's talking about here being more of a carrier-style ship. I mean, it says a crew of approximately 1,400. So I'm definitely...
That thing doesn't look like it holds 1,400
it looks like
people.
it holds one person pretty tight.
Right.
So I'm thinking that we're getting 2 ships here. Maybe maybe intentionally an image leaked of one, and maybe a little bit of something else. I don't know. Interesting stuff.
Maybe the big warship is an enemy carrier type thing we may see in maybe some of the Squadron 42 missions.
Yep, I'm thinking that the smaller ship is referred to as the Scythe fighter.
Ooh, yes, okay. Yeah, if that's the case, that is definitely the one from the teaser video, because I think there's been some information posted on the wikis and other sites about the Scythe, and yes, that is definitely going to be a pirate fighter, I believe is what they were referring to it as, so definitely going to be seeing that quite a bit, I guess.
Yep, so maybe we'll see the X-12 in the campaign Squadron 42 or in some high-level missions or something like that in Star Citizen. So it's pretty exciting. It's really cool to see what's going on.
Yep. So I guess the last thing we wanted to touch on tonight was the clarification of the lifetime insurance issue.
Yeah, I want to mention a couple things about that before we kind of go into it.
Go for it.
It's on the pledge packages right now on the website that is live as of May 10th when we're recording this. If you look at the subscription packages, it has a period of time that it says your ship comes with insurance. 1, 3, 6, 12 months, etc. Apparently, because we hit the $9 million stretch goal, that's void. Disregard that. You have lifetime insurance. So there was a little bit of confusion on that, and this clarification doesn't really explain that. We spent a good probably 15 to 20 minutes double checking because we wanted to make sure we provide the best information possible. So I wanted to mention that.
Yes, there was a Comlink article that came out that talked about lifetime insurance clarifications, and while it may have answered some questions for some people, it still, it still left a little bit of confusion for some others, because if you do go and look at the purchase pack, the purchasing options that you have for the different ships and for the different levels, they do specifically mention that static time period for insurance. And I think what they're saying is there's going to be a new website for, I guess, RSI or Cloud Imperium, or maybe even the Star Citizen itself.
It should be for RSI. For this particular, RobertSpaceIndustries.com should be getting the new site. I actually think Cloud Imperium Games is kind of set up with the same web designer or same design elements that we're going to see in the new RSI website.
Gotcha. So what they're saying is, between now, this date, May 5th, and the launch of the new website,
sometime in June is was kind of what we're thinking. We're going to get an exact date and time later on this month, but I'm thinking it's in June, if what I heard was true.
So you have until now and then to purchase any ship, whether it's a la carte or in one of those packages that you can buy on the homepage of the site, and it will come with lifetime insurance. And what that means is, if your ship gets destroyed, not damaged, destroyed,
or stolen,
you have insurance. You will get a ship, now they say in the exact same condition. So I'm going to assume, this might be wrong, I'm going to assume that you're going to get it back with the same weapons and equipment that it had on it. Maybe not the cargo hold. Definitely not the cargo hold.
Yeah, I would assume that any cargo that you had in the ship is gone. But
that would be an easy way to exploit the game.
Gradius,
oh no, Thomas stole my ship full of all this expensive stuff in it.
Yeah.
So you'll get your ship back in the condition that I guess it was in when it got stolen. And that is forever. Now, if you don't have lifetime insurance, you have to buy insurance in the game, or if your ship gets blown up, it's gone. That's it. There's no more ship. Bye-bye ship. So in the game, they have different time periods, like 1, 3, 6, 12 months, where you can buy insurance, and you have to use in-game credits for that. So if you want to save your in-game credits and save that money, you better get on the bandwagon probably in the next month or so to get that lifetime insurance. It will probably save thousands and thousands of credits if you do this.
Right. If it's any indication of kind of what we've seen in similar games, like Eve, for example, you do have the term-based insurance and different package levels that you can buy. I think it's going to be a little bit similar, but also different. In Eve, you just kind of get the cash. Depending upon
and it's not even the full amount.
Right.
It's like the best package only gives you like 2/3 of the value.
Right. Whereas this, like we mentioned, it looks like you're gonna get the ship. You're not gonna get the cash equivalent. It looks like you're physically going to get the ship back, or replacement ship back with equivalent-ish hardware on it. One of the things that's cool though, if you don't back, let's say you wait until the new site's launched, it doesn't mean that you can't get a ship without lifetime insurance or LTI. You still will have the option, but it's going to be a little bit different. For example, I buy a brand new Constellation class ship, fly it around, get tired of it, I pledged, I got mine with lifetime insurance. I could give my ship through whatever methods of exchange that it happens to have to somebody, and that person would inherit that lifetime insurance on that ship. So you're not going to be completely out of the water or out of luck. As far
That
as
might actually be a good idea to do. Like if you wanted to get into the game early with quite a bit of extra cash, you could buy multiple copies of those ships with lifetime insurance. And when you hit the game, those new players that are coming in who get tired of having to pay for insurance, I bet you anything, those Auroras, like an LX Aurora with lifetime insurance, those are I think those might be a hot commodity, or a Clipper.
Yep. And I mean, if you
yeah.
think about ships like the Aurora or the Hornet, some of the more dogfighting style based ships, could you imagine the freedom and flexibility as a pirate with a dogfighting ship that has lifetime insurance on it? I mean, it's going to bring being ballsy to a whole new level of I don't have to worry about it. Now, they do have the standard disclaimers, that insurance claims may be denied in case of fraud. So, and we know that Chris Roberts is going to do the right thing. I know that there's always that fear of, well, if I have insurance lifetime on my ship, what's going to prevent me from doing kamikaze attacks? So I have faith that, things are going to be adjusted so it's not quite so, maybe a cooldown timer associated with it or something along those lines. I blew up my ship last week. I have to wait a month before it blows up again before I could get insurance. So,
because the insurance company is totally processing the paperwork required for replacing your ship.
Which is good. I mean, it's nice to be able to look at a problem that we've seen in MMOs and go, this could be a real douchebag move, or this could be something that could be exploited. But it's nice to know that they can tweak it, and they can do that. They have the ability to say, this is fraud, we're not going to pay it, or potentially, and this is, I don't know if they're going to do this, the whole cooldown option, but that's something that could be done to prevent it from getting out of hand. Put that cooldown on it, week, 2 weeks, month, whatever, to prevent somebody from going crazy, with kamikaze style attacks. So
there's people out there that are going to try it.
I mean, it's already been brought up. I mean, I've seen it brought up in previous conversations in the forums and in other social events, particular to the game, where people have said, "Oh, that lifetime insurance can be a bit of a bitch." So it's nice that the conversations are being had now, versus November 2014. Oh my God, I've got LulzSec destroying me with kamikaze attacks.
Well, that brings up another point. If there's ever two very large clans or squadrons that are at war with each other, let's say, having an unlimited supply of lifetime insurance ships means that neither side is going to suffer that attrition, that loss because of attrition, losing ships here and there. So that does add quite a few. It makes it tricky. That's why
that's why I'm going to say right now, I'm putting my cards on the table and I'm saying I want the community or someone to tell me something different. I think the best way possible is to put a cooldown timer on that lifetime insurance. Just say,
yeah, definitely.
Whatever that time happens to be, a timer. Now you're not screwed if I get a ship and I blow it up, and I get another ship and blow it up, and the cooldown timer hits. I'm not screwed in the fact that I'll never get that ship again. I might just have to wait until that cooldown timer clears before that new ship will be delivered. So I think it kind of keeps everyone happy, and it prevents the, Pacific theater from becoming a galactic theater.
Makes sense to me.
So find me something better. I want something better, because that's just my idea, and I'm terrible with ideas.
If you do have some information though that clarifies the clarification of the clarification of lifetime, right? Please post it in the comments section below on the video here, so other people who find this video and read or listen to everything that we've said can have their clarification.
Definitely.
Clarification.
Yep. Well, great.
All right. Well,
that's all
we're pretty much at our we're pretty much at our conclusion mark here. So I think we're gonna try to get these out a little bit more often. Thank God that Thomas is feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank Allah. Thank whatever.
Yeah. I apologize. I coughed a few times today, so I do apologize. I don't have a cough button on my mic. What is this, amateur radio? What the hell?
Oh gosh.
But so there may be a few hiss, and I do apologize about that as I'm like whacking my mic over here. But whatever. So very very visual with my hands when I talk. But so I do apologize about that. I would like to see these come out, every couple days, and by couple I mean every week or so. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of
We'll
our goal,
definitely
our
try a
target.
little bit harder because we want to make sure that we're getting as much information out to you guys as possible,
as timely as possible.
accurate. Yes, exactly, and as accurate as possible. And I know that there's a ton of speculation. I know that if you go to the forums on their website right now and try to find information, real confirmed information about anything, it's pretty tough to do. So we're going to try to do the work, sift through all of the craziness, and make sure that what we're delivering to you is as accurate as possible.
Yeah, we spent the 20 minutes clarifying the clarification prior to the show. So when we presented it to you, we'd present it to you as best we could regarding lifetime insurance, because it's confusing. You see the packages and they say 3 months. Do I have 3 months or do I have lifetime? Because it says I have 3 months, but here it says I have lifetime. What do I have? So
who knows?
We're going to try to answer those questions for you. If you have any questions, like, comment, subscribe, put those comments down there in the questions and let us know what's going on, and we will do what we can to take care of it. Also, Grady's wanted to plug the forums on the website as well, the RSI website with the Ask a Developer section. I'm going to do it for him. Put those questions there. Let's get them answered, and they're good ones. We'll read them here. We couldn't find any
absolutely.
good ones. But
right? Yeah, on their forums, you can ask developers questions like, hey, lead art guy, ask, and you ask him your question, and they'll come back. It may take a week, may take a month, may take whatever, but they'll come back and answer your questions. And that is one of the key sources of information for the game that is 100% accurate, at least at the time that they answer it.
Right.
Things change, but we want to try to get some of those out to you guys, so you guys can learn a little bit more about the game.
Definitely.
All right, well that's it for today. I guess we'll chat with you guys a little bit later, and if you guys have any questions, put them down there, and we'll answer them for you.
That's it. Well, I am Thomas, aka Noble Apocalypse, signing out.
All right, Gradius, and I am out of here. Thanks a lot, guys.